She's very like motivating. I don't think I've ever talked to anyone who wants to help me as much as she does. And
Amberlynn Reid has never talked to someone who wants to help her as much as Wifey did. I guess she technically didn't define the kind of help she was referring to, because very early on in her and Beck's relationship, Beck was helping her neglected animals and cleaning up the spare feces-filled room.
Whenever we first got together and I would visit, there was this room upstairs where the litter boxes would be, but it also had an extra bed in it. And the litter box was just so, it needed cleaned so bad that there was feces on the bed and on the floor.
I've never really had someone that I'm like into like that, like want to help me with stuff like that. Like Becky just, she didn't seem like she had the desire to help me like Wifey does. So it's really nice to have that for sure. If you could wake up tomorrow 120 pounds but have no YouTube channel, would you do it? 120 pounds? No. Well, actually, yes, because then
Not a chance in hell. This is the same Amberlynn who turned down a show because she would have had to move, but more importantly, may not have been able to post on her YouTube channel. Outside of her social media presence, Amberlynn has close to nothing. It's the only area in her life she's rewarded for low effort and doing the bare minimum.
There was a show called Too Large that contacted her and wanted her to be on the show, but they wanted her to move to Atlanta and to follow a strict diet. She told me that she rejected the show because she didn't want to move and was afraid that she wouldn't be able to post YouTube videos while on the show.
and there's just more things I want in life, and Becky can't give those things to me.
That's interesting. I wonder why Amber would continue reaching out to Beck while being in a relationship with Wifey then. She was still seething about Beck leaving while being in a new relationship that was giving her all the things Beck couldn't.
Even while Amber was dating Jade, she was still saying things to me like, "You should feel like crap for dumping me like that," or "I can't believe you dumped me like you did."
So, yeah, the breakup has done wonderful things. I feel like. Least favorite, super easy, Charlie Gold. And if I have to explain why, then I just ain't got the time. I ain't got the time.
For someone like Amberlynn Reid, there are many reasons why her ex Beck speaking up about their experience would bother her. It goes against so many things she has said in the past, and it goes against a lot of narratives she's tried to push. Beck protected Amber for many years, but Amber, the never ending victim, probably won't see it that way. With so much new information and experiences surfacing from Beck, I wanted to take a look back. So much hasn't aged well for Amber. Let's revisit one of the most criticized and lucrative eras for Amber and her platform, the livestream era, post Beck breakup.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to my live stream, my Tuesday live stream. Yeah, Becky won't be in this one. So, yeah.
God forbid Beck took a break. Not only were they a caretaker, they helped carry these live streams that generated thousands of dollars for Amberlynn. Reminder, Beck walked away with $100 for a U-Haul.
Where's Becky? She's just in her room, chilling. Is Francis still a thing? Are you really close friends? Or are you more than that? Is this just a stunt to get more views? Or are you being genuine? I only want what's best for you and Becky.
Almost 4 years later, I can confidently say most viewers just want what's best for Beck.
Yeah, we're good friends. And we like each other. So yeah, we're not like in a relationship or anything.
I wonder if Amber forced Wifey's hand in the same way she forced Beck's and Erica's.
Miss your workout videos. Watching you try gives me strength. Aww. Maybe I can like film myself walking or something. Ooh. I don't know. But I do want to say that I'm down weights. That's been fun. In the last 2 weeks, I've lost like 20 pounds, so pretty pumped.
If you've been watching Amberlynn for a while, you know one of the indicators of her trying to move on to the next victim is her trying to take her health seriously. So if she starts losing a drastic amount of weight in current time, we know a new caretaker has probably applied in her DMs.
I have to say, I just like have not been that hungry lately. And when I am hungry, I try like my best to not eat as much as I normally would. So I am really happy about that. And I do want to say that wifey, she's very like motivating. I don't think I've ever talked to anyone who wants to help me as much as she does. And
Amberlynn Reid has never talked to someone who wants to help her as much as wifey did. I guess she technically didn't define the kind of help she was referring to because very early on in her and Beck's relationship, Beck was helping her neglected animals and cleaning up the spare feces-filled room.
Whenever we first got together and I would visit, there was this room upstairs where the litter boxes would be, but it also had an extra bed in it. And the litter box was just so, it needed cleaned so bad that there was feces on the bed and on the floor.
it's pretty awesome. So she's helped me a lot, to be honest. And I appreciate that. Hey Amberlynn, I'm a longtime viewer. Just wanted to say you are blossoming during these tough times. Although I do miss your vlogs, Eric and Ricky. I've been going to Eric and Ricky's house like every weekend. So it's been pretty fun. I am literally closer to them than I ever have been, and I'm loving it.
After everything Eric and Ricky witnessed with Amber and Beck, I find it pathetic and disgusting they remained friends with Amber post-breakup. Imagine witnessing your best friend run out of the door crying and barefoot because of their girlfriend's reaction to you changing the TV, and you still remained friends with that person? Interesting.
I think the arguments that stand out the most for me are the ones where I got so overwhelmed that I had to leave the house and get away. One time, Amber, Eric, Ricky, and I were watching Adventure Time, and Eric changed the channel without asking. Amber, even though she did not like Adventure Time, and even though it was Eric's TV, had a huge blow up. I'd had enough, and I left without grabbing my wallet, my bra, or shoes. I drove an hour to my sister's and showed up at her doorstep barefoot and crying. I just wanted to escape.
Why is it that you feel like Becky didn't help you or support you as much as wifey? What was that face I made? Honestly, it's because
Amber is an ungrateful piece of shit. Beck supported Amber in ways that should have never let those words leave Amber's mouth. Beck was still helping Amber with her hygiene up until their breakup. So imagine sitting there saying that, knowing just a few weeks ago, Beck was still standing in their bathroom helping Amber shower. Viewers didn't know that, of course, but Amber did and still chose to say that.
I would talk to Amber about her hygiene. I tried to convince her to cut her hair to make maintenance easier on both of us, and she refused. I told her to stop wearing the chokers when the dark spots appeared behind her neck, and she told me it wasn't a big deal and that it was fine. I'm not going to go into detail about the smell, but it was brought up to me a lot by everyone around me, and I did have to talk to her about it. Her reaction was usually to blame her depression and how she struggled to clean by herself. Eventually, I stopped asking her to help herself because it wasn't going to happen. It did get a little better when we moved into the apartment with the large walk-in shower, but I did still stand in the bathroom and help until the day we broke up.
she like gives me goals and like makes me like put out positive like affirmations pretty much. Like before I got on live, she was like, say that you're gonna kill it, and you're gonna kill it. So it's just like things like that. And like
Beck was combing out Amber's matted, greasy hair, but this meant more?
we have like a little weight loss goal. Like I don't know, she's just really helpful in that way. And like she's helping me want to like walk more and like giving me little goals. I think I've never really had someone that I'm like into like that, like want to help me with stuff like that. Like Becky just, she didn't seem like she had the desire to help me like wifey does. So it's really nice to have that for sure.
When it comes to Amber's health, not many people are equipped with the tools to help someone who is guilting and manipulating them into getting their way.
She would beg. Sometimes she would just be like, please, please, will you go get me this or that? It would just sort of turn into like a guilt trip. Like, why don't you love me? Why don't you want me to be happy? And she would just kind of be a bit of a bully about things if she wasn't getting her way.
I guess wifey's encouraging words only went so far when they ended up living together, because Amber was clearly maintaining eating enough for 4 people.
No hate, but why did you claim to never be able to love someone else after Becky and then start to date someone else? Well, I'm not dating someone.
Yeah, she would laugh about that, huh? Amber wasn't dating someone, she was rubbing someone in Beck's face, since she couldn't manipulate them into changing their mind and staying in the relationship.
The day of the We Broke Up live stream was really stressful. She spent the day asking me if I was sure about my decision, guilting me about how she wasn't sure what she would do without me, trying her hardest to make me feel awful. I wouldn't be there to take care of her anymore, and that's what she was most affected by. During that live stream and the following ones, it was obvious to me that she was trying to insult me and put me down to the audience. For over a week, it was an emotional roller coaster, going from being completely fine to begging for me to come back, then emotionally manipulating me in an effort to get me to rethink my decision, and then being angry at me. Once Jade came into the picture, all manipulation toward getting me back ended, and there were no longer any moments of being nice to me. Everything became about rubbing this new relationship in my face and making sure I knew how quickly she had moved on, and making the split up as hard for me as it could possibly be. She treated Jade much better than she'd ever treated me, and she made sure that I saw that.
I've explained this to Becky and I've talked about it with like my friends and stuff, but Becky and I really did just feel like roommates for like the last 2 years, I'm not gonna lie. So it's like I didn't really process how much I was missing what I desire. Does that make sense? Like there are things that I desire and that I want in my life, and I didn't realize how bad I wanted it
Until Beck gave Amber no choice? I would say her wants and desires changed when Beck stood their ground on leaving. Amber would still be carrying on that charade of a relationship today if Beck chose to stay.
someone made me feel that way, if that makes sense. So yeah. Are you and Becky still good friends, or is it awkward now? We're still good friends, like best friends. Like, oh my god, her and wifey call each other bro, and I'm just like, okay, I'm leaving. I'm actually leaving the planet.
According to Eric and Ricky, wifey eventually started speaking negatively about Beck. I'm assuming due to the things Amber said to her about Beck. At least they were cordial during the moving process.
She was kind to my face, but I did find out later on from Eric and Ricky that she would talk about me behind my back. She didn't make it any easier or harder because I was already halfway out the door whenever she moved in.
Seems like you're bashing Becky. To be honest, your unhealthy habits and such just rubbed off on her. Is wifey a personal trainer? Oh my god. No, like I'm just not even gonna answer any of that. Like, but thank you for the super chat. Why would you want to get married to your roommate? So I totally understand this question. When you get like, I don't know, Becky and I just had like routine, and I think it was like to the point where I just felt like no one else was ever gonna love me or like find me attractive, and it's like,
The routines being described today was one of a slave and their owner. Getting married was the only way to lock things in. Amber stopped looking for love with Beck long ago, but she still had something she could control. Beck was allotted very little time away from Amber because there was limited things that Amber could do without Beck's assistance.
There were a lot of things that she couldn't do without me, so that's why my time away from her or with my family was very limited, because she would try to take care of things on her own, but then she would text me and make me feel bad for not being there to help her do the things that she couldn't do without me. So she would do her best to not do those things that she needed help with while I was gone.
I just felt like this is it. Like, this is it, you know? But it's like now that I'm experiencing like other, you know, feelings and talking to other people, like, it makes me realize that that was literally just a friendship. And yeah. And I know it's probably super confusing to people, which I totally understand. I would probably be confused as well.
Well, 4 years later, we have a lot more clarity thanks to Beck speaking up and not allowing Amber to keep them silent.
How do you know wifey? Where did you guys meet? She messaged me on Instagram.
I wonder how many times Wifey has reflected since their breakup. I'm guessing she would have never sent that message.
Is wifey local? I also live in Lexington. Let me know if you're taking friendship applications. Rooting for you. Thank you. And no, she's not really. When do you think you or Becky will move? We're finishing the lease, and then we're going to move into separate places. We've thought about doing the whole roommate thing again, but
Define we. Did they both think about it, or is it something that Amber tried to convince Beck to do since they took care of just about everything for Amber? Amber's neck wasn't going to clean itself.
again, I mean, we're roommates now, but I don't think so. I don't think so.
So Beck declined. Got it.
If you could wake up tomorrow 120 pounds but have no YouTube channel, would you do it? 120 pounds? No. Well, actually, yes, because then
Not a chance in hell. This is the same Amberlynn who turned down a show because she would have had to move, but more importantly, may not have been able to post on her YouTube channel. Outside of her social media presence, Amberlynn has close to nothing. It's the only area in her life she's rewarded for low effort and doing the bare minimum.
There was a show called Too Large that contacted her and wanted her to be on the show, but they wanted her to move to Atlanta and to follow a strict diet. She told me that she rejected the show because she didn't want to move and was afraid that she wouldn't be able to post YouTube videos while on the show.
because that's too skinny for me. I don't know. But yeah, sure. I'd wake up 120 pounds and then try to get up a little bit more. I want to be like I'll never be this, but like 150 or 160 just sounds pretty great, but it'll never happen. So it's whatever.
Realistically, based on her past actions over the years, it will never happen.
When are you going to fly wifey out to meet you? I have to, I want to lose some weight first. She doesn't care, like, you know, but I do.
In the beginning, Amber has to present something completely different from the reality her next partner will be living. So her go-to is trying to take her health seriously.
No hate, but were you excited for the wedding when you and Becky were together? Also, why aren't you weighing in if you've lost a ton of weight? I just haven't been doing like weight loss videos.
Well, seeing that in the past she pulled some of those numbers out of the sky, they were pretty pointless.
Did she fudge her weigh-in numbers? Yeah, she would sometimes. There were just some days that she didn't feel like weighing herself, so she would just make up a number.
Beck speaking up has confirmed so much speculation that viewers and creators have had over the years. And that is probably at the top of the list of things that is upsetting to Amber right now.
Was I excited for the wedding? Honestly, I thought I was, but I wasn't. Like, I literally didn't even open the wedding planner I bought. So it's like, I don't know. It's just such a weird dynamic. And it's in the past now, you know?
I'm assuming it's hard to really get excited over something that was so forced. Amber literally bought her own rings.
Hi, Beck. What was your justification reasoning for proposing to Amberlynn given that all of the bad things that were happening to you loved the videos? I felt very pressured to do that, and she had already bought the rings anyway, and there was just no telling her no. So that's why I just went ahead and did it. and I'm not proud of it at all, but I wish I could go back and have not done it at all and just ran as far as I could, but here we are.
Doing weight loss videos wasn't hindering you. It's your inability to change and you don't think you're as big as you are. You're probably right. Like, I really do have like body dysmorphia. Were you formally diagnosed with body dysmorphia or was it self-diagnosed? I just told myself, hey, you know, if you feel smaller than you actually are, you need help. Like, that's body dysmorphia. So, no, I was not diagnosed with that. I didn't know you had to be diagnosed with that. Like, because as I'm sitting here, like, this is the best way to describe it. Like, as I'm sitting here, the only thing I see is my boobs. Like, I don't see anything else. So I don't realize how big I am until, like, I see a photo of me or something like that. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Because I don't feel that way. Like, on the inside, I really, truly don't.
Amber just likes to parrot what she's heard other people say in an attempt to justify self-diagnosing.
And it's sad. Like, I feel like I'm a lot smaller than what I really am. So, it is what it is.
Amber can continue to throw out diagnoses to justify her choices over the years. Good thing someone who spent years living with her can confirm what so many people thought.
Health was not the priority at all. Her career on YouTube was much more important than her health, and she said as much multiple times. If she were to lose weight or not be a train wreck, she wouldn't have as many viewers, and that was the most important thing to her, more than any concern for herself, those around her, or anything else.
You seem like such a chill, fun person to have a few drinks with and talk to. You're the best. Thanks for all the fun. Oh, thank you, Ashley. And yeah, I feel like I totally am that person, for sure.
When I come across comments like this, I wonder what they think of Amber today. I'm side-eyeing the comment, but maybe they were a new viewer.
Will you move in with wifey? No, we're not in a relationship.
Not only did they end up in a relationship, but they ended up moving in together soon after. Thankfully, wifey left as well.
I don't know, it's like a little video diary. But, Feline and I have broken up. It was mutual. Honestly, it doesn't even matter why we broke up. It's personal and we both have our own reasons, but she's my other half of my heart and I'm the other half of hers. But we can't be in a relationship. Did you immediately move on to wifey after the breakup? No. She messaged me randomly and we just like talked as friends and all of a sudden, you know how those things go? It just kind of happens. What did she message when you met wifey? She said, she said, hey, future wife. And I said, ha, funny. And then from that point on, we just became friends. Have you officially moved on from Becky? Yeah, like me and Becky have talked and it's like I'm so honestly so grateful. Like this is gonna sound so bad. Grateful that we broke up because our friendship is like better than ever.
That would be the front and attitude to present to viewers since Amber begged and couldn't convince Beck to change their mind about the breakup.
The breakup live stream happened just a day or so after the breakup. I think she spent about 24 hours guilting me offline and trying to change my mind, then couldn't wait to go live and publicly make me feel guilty for my decision once it became clear to her that the guilt trip wasn't working.
And there's just more things I want in life, and Becky can't give those things to me.
That's interesting. I wonder why Amber would continue reaching out to Beck while being in a relationship with wifey then. She was still seething about Beck leaving while being in a new relationship that was giving her all the things Beck couldn't.
Even while Amber was dating Jade, she was still saying things to me like, you should feel like crap for dumping me like that. Or, I can't believe you dumped me like you did.
So, yeah. The breakup has done wonderful things, I feel like.
I can confirm. In 2025, The breakup has led to Amberlynn being wonderfully exposed for the abuser that she is.
I love getting the letters. The letters are so cute. Oh my god. I got one today. Nathan, hi. You asked if I would date you. So if you're watching, I'm actually a lesbian. As for the guy, oh my god. He's a subscriber type deal type situation, and I think that he might have a fetish for the bigger girlies, and he's super attractive. I can say that. Like, you can look at him and you can be like, oh yeah, he's cutie. Um, well, we exchanged numbers. I was super freaking drunk. He ended up calling me and we had a little moment that rhymes with tone pecs. Yeah, it happened. It is not my finest moment. I have been extremely lonely. I have been confused. I have been going through it. I am literally heartbroken over two people at once. I have been turning to alcohol. I felt lonely, and he made me feel like I was the hottest thing ever. And it just kind of happened. It is what it is. So I didn't feel like writing you back to tell you that because that's a lot, but it was super sweet of you to ask. I love that, and I loved your letter. You seem bored, Queen. What's the tea? It's not that I'm bored. I'm definitely not bored. It's just like, do you guys ever have that thing where it's like you can't wait until something ends so you can like do what your next thing is? Did that make any sense? Did it? I don't know if it did. Will we see Becky in any future upcoming lives? I hope so, because it helps me so much, because like, I don't know, I talk so much and read so much that I forget like what I'm saying, and I feel like I stumble on my words a lot. It's just like a lot at once. So then when she's in here, I'm able to just like pause for a second and be like, okay, I'm good, you know?
Looking back at this with new information, these couple of hours that Amber spent streaming was probably just a huge relief and break for Beck. Amber streaming alone meant Beck didn't have to sit in the bathroom for some peace.
If there were ever times where you would deliberately take longer during the errands that Amberlynn would send you on just so that you could have more time away from her.
Absolutely, yes, I would. I did it every single time, every chance I got. That's also what I would do in the bathroom a lot. I would pretend to be using the bathroom for a long time, but I would really just be in there having my peace.
What's the nicest thing wifey has said to you? There's been a lot of nice things. And I think that when she says, that's my girl, oh my God, that is so, I don't know what it is. I love it so much. Like, that's my girl. But she says really nice things. It's just, that's the first thing I thought of. Cause like, she likes to like amp me up. Like, you know, I've never had that before. I love it. It's pretty awesome.
Wifey amped Amber up, and Beck helped lift Amber up for about 2 years, with the mattress they had to haul in and out of the living room for Amber's comfort.
It was over a period of, I want to say, about 2 years. Whenever she would want to hang out in the living room, I would have to drag the mattress out. And when we were done hanging out, I would have to drag it back into the spare bedroom. It wasn't the bed that we slept on. It was my bed from before we were together, and it stayed in the spare bedroom. So it didn't stay in there all the time, but I did drag it back and forth for many days over the course of a few years. But it was all Amber's idea, and it was because she would get uncomfortable sitting on the couch because her ankles would swell, and it would just be more comfortable for her to be able to stretch her legs out. And there were also other reasons that I won't disclose.
What do you miss most about being with Becky? Nothing. We're better as friends.
She's such a nasty bitch. There's a long list of things Amber would have missed about Beck. Who would be her photographer and go on to fetch another scooter when the one she's currently using died in the middle of the store?
Yes, I was extremely embarrassed when she would have me take pictures of her on the scooter for thumbnails. The whole hanging out with her in the scooter, walking around Walmart for hours was embarrassing enough. But it wasn't the scooter that was embarrassing because I walked around Walmart with other people who were riding scooters. And what was embarrassing about it was that the cart would be full of stuff, but then she would have me go get a new scooter when the scooter she was on would die. But I would have to ride it back to her and then switch all of her items over from the dead cart to the one that worked. And she would just ride off and keep shopping and leave the dead scooter where it was sitting.
You need to stop clinging onto every flirtatious message you get. I'm not even gonna finish reading that. Actually, yes, I am. You need to stop clinging on to every flirtatious message you get as soon as you become single. You don't know what love is. LOL. Okay, you can have your opinion. There has been some things that just like... I don't have to go into detail. Love just isn't enough sometimes. And I know what I'm worth. And I know it might not be like a lot to some people, but I know like what I deserve and I know what I want, and I just need to be single. Would you ever date a fan? Yes, I would. If we vibe, we vibe. Whether you're a fan, a stan. A stan. No one stans me. Come on. You know what I mean. Subscriber, viewer, like...
Sitting on my couch. I really don't want to get up. But I guess I have to now. Because you just hung up on the phone with me. Even though we were having a great conversation. I don't even know what I want to do now. I could clean my bathroom or my kitchen. I think I need your input on this. I don't know. I need to drive to Oklahoma first and deliver you ice cream. Coffee ice cream. Okay. This is my second vlog, by the way, so I'm already getting up there. I already have 5 subscribers, so peace out.
How are your priorities different than Becky's? I honestly don't know.
I'm assuming Beck tried to communicate that in the past. Too bad Amber's feelings are the only priority in her relationships.
I really don't. She thinks that we want different things in life, and I mean, maybe that's true. I don't know.
Clearly, they both wanted different things. Beck wanted Amber to put an effort into changing. Amber wanted to pretend to change, just long enough to go back to being controlling.
The promises to change would always depend on what my reason for wanting to leave was about at the time. There were a lot of times that Amber promised me she would get therapy in order to change her behavior. She never continued going after the first few appointments, so no progress was ever really made. She promised that she would do better on her diets, that she would help to clean more, that she would be less strict. Her attempts to change were never really authentic. After each promise, she'd try for a few days, she'd be nicer and demand me do less for her, but then gradually go right back to her old ways. The less mobile she became, the more mean and controlling she would be. She became more confident in the way she treated me and in her belief that I would never leave. It continued to escalate until the end of the relationship. She also knew that the less independent she was, the more she needed me, the more bad I would feel for her, and the less likely I would be to leave.
Do you and Becky still sleep in the same bed? We do. It's because I have a king bed. It's just big. It's more comfortable. It's just 2 friends sleep in the same bed. It's not that big a deal. I stan you. I think you're super pretty and nice. I don't know why everyone is mean to you. Thank you, Lauren. I don't know why either. So, I don't know. I think it's just easy for people to be mean to me, if I'm being honest.
Why, yes, it is easy to be mean to awful people. I personally have no issue to say that with my whole chest. Amberlynn refuses to acknowledge her actions have fostered the hate following she has had all these years.
What do you think about certain channels comparing your breakups and seeing they might have similar patterns, and do you find fault in any of them? No, I'm not watching any reaction channels, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
We been knew that was a lie. Amberlynn tracks what is said about her online more than Chantel does. If she put that much effort into tracking her calories, she'd be half her current weight.
And yeah, she was all over the reaction channels and the Facebook and Reddit and Kiwi Farms. She'd check that stuff out all the time. Karina Kaboom, Willow Davis, CXNT, Charlie Gold, Kicking Geese, and Apathetic Facts. She talked about the channels daily and watched every video that came out about her. She loved to say that none of them would have a channel or be making any money without her. She'd proudly tell me about her flagging videos of theirs. It was annoying to me that she was so obsessed because it was such an unhealthy obsession. She would sometimes cry about the things the channels would say, calling them bullies and saying it was due to fat shaming.
But when it comes to like patterns within my breakups, I totally see similarities, like 100%. So I do.
That noise at the end was Beck dragging every bit of courage it would take to expose Amber a few years later. I've said it before, and I'll repeat it again. Amber greatly underestimated Beck. The more that comes out about Amber, the more irredeemable Amber becomes. There are many things that are forgotten or rarely revisited when it comes to Amber's actions. Beck's experience with Amber won't be one of them. As long as Beck remains consistent with their presence on the platform, there's a chance that Amber will never know peace again when it comes to the criticism she receives. Amberlynn might as well hang up the "it's because I'm fat" trope. That is dead. The month of March will be packed with a lot to discuss. Amber has yet another mediocre members only live stream scheduled from a few hours from the post of this video, and a few of her exes will be collabing very soon. I wish most abusers face this type of fate. An uncomfortable existence in a space that they need to survive. Ah, I love this song. Don't you?
Your girl's understanding a little bit. Like, you're getting me a little hot and bothered. I'm kind of loving, like, the whole thing. Oh my god.
What the hell does she have merch for anyway? What the f do these friggin' reaction channels have merch for, some of them?
I ain't invite you, or you a